Ha,
Crypt-
yo mama.
Cryptic got kicked again.
Wow.
See, bro, this
At
is what
least
happens when you call us squatties.
it's true. That's what happens when you don't appreciate MCU John Walker for what he is and not what you just want him to be.
Oh, shut up.
So, Cryptid, is it going to be one of those nights?
I blame Austin, Jake. I blame
No, why you
Austin.
blame
All
me
right.
for it?
Yeah. It started with you, and now all of a sudden it's going on to me, Jake. Austin.
Technically, Cryptid. It started with me, and then Austin, and then
Yeah.
you.
Okay, so
Oh,
which you're
Mine
telling me
didn't
you're
end up
patient
kicking me out.
zero.
Mine accidentally pressing the button.
Gotcha. So what you're telling me you're patient zero in this. So yeah.
Yeah.
Are you calling me
The moment we
patient
switch to this
zero?
new
That
one,
sounds
only
like I
Rick
have
had
a
problems.
disease.
it
I don't
started
have
when
a
an alien.
disease, dude.
It started when an
Yeah.
alien device did what it did. You know.
Mm-hmm.
They need to do more Ben 10, bro. It's actually kind of crazy how big the drought is. This is an $8 billion franchise.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's. I don't even think you could put Ben 10 in a universe with other people, though. I think it just kind of ruins Ben 10. I think it dilutes.
I think you can, only you have them focus on different things. Like the Generator Rex thing. They have completely
Oh yeah, if it's like
different
that,
enemies.
yeah, like it has to be
and
like
they
we got to
change
be doing
cross
something.
over to them.
If we're doing like Secret Saturday, if it's that universe, Secret Saturdays, Generator X, Ben 10, fine. It just can't be like a Marvel DC where everybody just kind of bleeds together. That'd be kind of ass.
I think like I say, I think you can once you do like you can't do like the everyone's in New York thing.
Right.
Ben 10 travels too much, so I would have him like do mainly USA, and then I probably would like have other heroes in other situations. I would have them all in the United States at that point. You can. I think having anyone else around with aliens attack kind of messed up Ben 10.
Right. Vilgax attacks and the Justice League shows up, bro. I'll be like, man, you gotta buff Vilgax. Because Vilgax with Darkseid in the same timeline is not that scary anymore. You know what I mean? It's like
yeah.
So no, but Vilgax was a hype beat, bro. Every time I go back and watch the first Vilgax fight, that shit was hype, bro.
Yeah, no, it's he slammed him to a building, bro. The building exploded for some reason.
No, I like when Ben fights him on Mount Rushmore, that shit was crazy. And like Ben was so scared, he thought Vilgax punched a hole in him, but he turned into Ghost Freak last second. that shit was crazy. He's the first person in the series to crack a Diamond Head's skin. That's how crazy he was back then. So, bro.
Only to get soloed by an older Diamond Head, bro.
That's true.
So
well, you know,
he was. Question: is Vilgax God level? Since we have a literal cult that sees him as God.
I'll put it to you this way. Vilgax is like Darkseid from like the DCAU. But then imagine if Darkseid turned into What If Thanos and his subsequent appearances. And that is what happened to Vilgax. Okay. It was a tragedy what they did to my boy Vilgax, bro.
What do you think of Thanos because of what actually happened to Vilgax?
Right. Vilgax, when I was a kid, was the one like where Ben could confidently beat any villain. When Vilgax showed up, I said, "Oh no, this kid is dead." That's what Vilgax used to be for me. and then in the sequel series, they just made him like kind of like slowly a joke. Like the way you know what, Cryptid? It's the way you feel about Galactus. That's what they did to Vilgax. There you go.
God. Yeah. The last time I was acquainted with Vilgax was when that cult took him in and thought he was their god, and he just became a giant squid.
No, that was some. That was the.
To be fair, that's my problem with saying stuff like God level and stuff like that. Because if you go by Marvel, Thor's only a god because he came to Earth and we saw him as God. You know what I mean? And that's just been what we call him. He's really just an alien. Are we going to downgrade him to alien level now because of that? No.
The thing. He pretended to be a god from the Dagon or whatever, and there was an actual god that was like a Lovecraftian monster, and Vilgax looked like him, so he pretended to be him, so they would just help him. He's in a compromised position, and Ben was trying to tell him like, "That's not your god, bro. That's Vilgax." I said, "No, fuck you," and then he had to fight him off.
Don't make us lose our faith. Don't make us lose our faith in. Yeah, don't make us lose our faith in Cthulhu, Ben. Come on, yeah.
The thing was like their god was real. It just was.
That reminded me.
Mhm.
Go ahead, finish your thing.
I was gonna say, their god is real. It's just that Vilgax was posing as him. What's the problem? So,
How dare he become a false god, a false idol? So, yeah.
In Doom, the Dark Ages trailer, they showed Cthulhu, and then the dude trailer just said, "Yeah, actually, like that's biblically correct Cthulhu. I did everything I could to make him exactly as strong as Lovecraft said.
Mhm.
Jesus Christ.
We're gonna kill actual Cthulhu."
Jesus Christ, bro.
Gotcha. But all right, guys, you want to get started?
Yeah, I've been waiting
Yeah,
for
we-
you. While you guys were talking about
Okay.
Ben Tennyson over here. I was reading.
Gotcha.
He's still
All
a better
right, well.
10-year-old hero than Spider-Boy or whatever. Well,
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah. Why don't you just give Spider-Boy the most powerful object in the universe, and then we'll talk, Jake. All right.
oh,
All
doesn't he have plot armor? Doesn't he have plot armor?
All right. So, all right. Welcome to Confag Live, the news and reviews of the week. Audience, you're here with me, Cryptid Seeker 4115. Good news, everybody. That's all, folks.
Oh,
And,
that was something.
That's my intro.
Oh, that's an
That's all,
intro. I'm
folks.
not gonna deny it.
Mhm.
And you're with me, Jake Tylenol. I'm here to say, just make the Ben 10 movie, bro. It's not that hard. It's honestly the Ben 10 movie is kind
Okay,
of a
we already
layup.
got two, and they're decent. We got two,
Right.
they're decent.
But imagine if it was like a
Raging Time
movie,
three.
imagine like a theatrical movie, bro. Like just a theatrical
No,
summer
bro, because
movie.
they're gonna cast Tom Holland, bro. You seen
Tom Holland
cast.
is Ben Tennyson's a little boy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna do Ultimate Alien. Look, he looks older. Oh, it's my turn.
So,
Breaking Ball.
yeah.
I didn't think Dick was done, bro.
No.
I'm the holder of the Omnitrix. If you want to be honest about it, I've been a lot better than Ben 10 because I would have won that fight against no dip. I seen what he is.
Bro,
I know
he caused an explosion in a building with no explosives. I don't think you're winning that fight, bro. I honestly don't. Like,
bro, you need to believe and be like seal, bro.
That fight was crazy.
Fair enough. Anyways, I'm Richter, also known as the Witch of Jotunheim, pronouns they, he, and I don't have any catchy quips or anything today, but I do recommend you go support your local libraries. They need it more than ever. That's all I gotta say on that.
Yeah, like, what's wrong with you people? Go to the library more. That's a nice little small
you can
date
do lots
place.
of stuff at the library. I'm just saying.
I'm starting to think you guys aren't really American because you're talking about education and shit, and that's gross to me as an American.
Nah,
Okay?
the library is great, man. At least it used to be.
Alright. Maybe say
Yeah,
so.
trust me, the library's great.
Well,
I printed out my tax information there like a few weeks ago.
and talking about taxes? Ugh.
And then you can print out resumes. You know, you can use the interwebs. You can get books. You can do a lot of things.
I'm old enough.
You can get
remember that.
Yowie. You can
I'm-
you can get Yowie at the library.
I'm old enough to remember getting some VHS tapes out of the library, audience.
You
Yep.
can. I don't know if you still can get
You
VHS,
can
but you can get like, DVDs and stuff at the library.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So.
Well, with these weirdos not talking anymore, together we form the Phanatics, and we talk about the news and reviews of the week. And on our special Tuesday nights, our Fanatic Nights reviews, we talk about the comic reviews, and we got some special hitters for you. We got our usuals, we got our Bionicles, is Avengers Academy this week? Did we do?
Yes, Avengers Academy this week.
Yeah.
Avengers Academy. G.I. Joe has returned to be the new American hero that we need in the modern age. And we're also doing a heist with the Godzilla, the Gojira of legend, bro. We're doing that with him. We're also going to be inviting some Predators to the channel with Predators versus Spider.
What did I tell you about that?
Oh shit, it was Spider-Man, not Superman. My bad.
We also have the Avengers shall assemble with issue 25. All this and more. We also have socials as well.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Do you know anything about that, Jake, or?
Well, I know we have a Twitter account.
Yeah, we do. But first of all, you should subscribe to us because we're almost at 100 subscribbles. And if you want to be so kind, you can subscribe to us, okay? But if you want like updates and sometimes cool art, or if you want to see all of the thumbnails that Cryptid makes for us, because I don't want to draw every single week because that's exhausting. You can follow us on Twitter at Comic-Fanatic69 because I heard that's pretty cool. You know, I heard Twitter's pretty cool, so do it. But if you don't want to follow just like the whole squad and just want to follow little old me, you can follow me on Twitter at Witch of Jotun with an E instead of a U. Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch at witch_of_Jotunheim because I just posted something on Instagram yesterday and you should go look at it. You can also follow me on
Jake.
Tumblr. Yeah, go look at my new post on Instagram. Anyways, you can follow me on Tumblr and Blue Sky at Northstar Aria, and you can follow me on RedNote/Xiaohongshu at Witch of Jotun with a U this time. And you can, if you want to be so kind and you want to support me financially, you can buy me a coffee at Witch of Jotunheim. Yay, I post stuff on there sometimes. So follow me, and my link tree should be in the description as always. Wink.
Yay.
Anyways, Austin is still a brick wall. Crypt is still in the same spot, and I think Jake is dealing with Bionicle stuff, like he always is.
Yeah.
By the way, we're at 62 subscribbles, so just remember that.
Yay. Let's go.
So share us with your friends.
Yeah.
You can
We
talk.
got a couple
You show the Aquaman review. Show the Castlevania Nocturne review because that is still our highest viewed video. Fun fact.
We gotta give a special thanks to whoever becomes the 69th scribble. You know?
Yeah.
So
you know what? Whoever's the 69th scribble, let me know so that I could do I could draw little fuck ass doodles. That's what we're doing for the 69th scribble.
And you know what? God damn it! Free my homie Mike Ross, bro. Free Mike Ross.
No, he deserves it, y'all. He's a fraud in every sense of the word. And they're gonna let him off easy. That's the worst part.
Free Mike Ross until it's backwards, bro.
Yeah, but all right then. I guess with all the intros out of the way, I guess we should get started. So, all right, audience. First book of the night.
Avengers.
Avengers number 25. One World Under Doom tie-in. Yay. Okay. So yeah, we pretty much start us off with who else? The Masters of Evil, audience. Dude, Marvel really needs to bring those guys back. I'm like, it's been such a while since we saw the Masters of Evil, you know? And this isn't really the OG ones. This is just kind of like an assemblance of villains who are like, okay, since Doom's a savior out, since Doom is ruling the world right now, we kind of need to bring villainy back into this world, you know? So they just grabbed some big heads in the villain world that are accepting the offer of being part of Masters of Evil. That's being led by the Mad Tinkerer, you know? So in this roster of Masters of Evil, you have Mr. Hyde, Dread Knight, Madcap, and Obleti Midas, the Exterminatrix. Okay, I'm not too familiar with her, but looking at her design, she has a dominatrix look to her, audience. Like, I know she's carrying a gold. Yeah, dude. Like, she is fully wearing leather here, a full-on latex type mask. I'm surprised that she's not carrying a whip in this. So, like, damn, huh? So, yeah. The only person here who actually really did interest me though was Madcap because Madcap, yeah, he's a bit of a nut job even by Deadpool standards. Bit of a crazy. You don't want to kind of mess with him, especially since his power is literally to make other people around him insane. You know, so yeah. And
Mr. Hyde was in the Thor run, the one currently going on. So it's funny to watch him lose to Thor and just show up here. That's kind of funny to me, man.
It's funny you should mention that because they even referenced that in the editor's note that he was in Immortal Thor number 18, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, of course, they come together, they formulate their plan, and I really got to give credit to the artist of this book. Let me get their name. Where was it? I got the book in front of me. Okay, yeah. Valerio Schitty, right? Because the way he draws Madcap is creepy as fuck here. Like, of course, he's a bit of a cuckoo. So, what do you expect someone like a dominatrix to do? But shoot him in the head immediately. And yes, audience, she wasn't aware that he has a healing factor. Let me bring up that picture. See that? That's the face of a madman right there. And you see to the left, that's the face of a dominatrix right there.
Who would you rather
Think of that.
hang out with, the dominatrix or the madman? I would choose the dominatrix. Pick your poison, honestly.
Pretty much. Hey, there's no shame if these are your only two options, audience. All right, you know. So,
I mean,
right,
one of
okay.
them I feel like I would have a decent conversation with, and the other one would just make me uncomfortable.
Not just uncomfortable, he will make you insane, which that's literally his power. Like
Exactly. So pick your poison.
Yeah. So anyway, this one, Matt Tinkerer brings up his brilliant strategy that since it seems like the Avengers have their hands filled with Doom after they received a colossal defeat of him in the One World Under Doom event, they said, you know what, this is the best possible time we could come and take over their ship. You know, the Impossible City audience. So that's what they do. And we cut back to the Avengers after they got a royal beating from Doom. Carol's like looking at Sam, saying like, "Okay, Sam, look, I know you want to fight and all, but I gotta send you back. You're human after all. You're not a superhuman." Like, what? I'm like, Beep, you're the one who chose Sam over Steve to be part of this group. Yeah, I remember that first issue. What the hell, Carol? So yeah, and she also says like, yeah, you're kind of roughed up a bit, so you're going to be a liability to us. So yeah, she has the Impossible City teleport Sam out of the fight and back into the ship. And god dang, Sam's just feeling beaten up about himself over this. Because yeah, technically he is the only person on the Avengers team that isn't a superhuman. I mean, dude, you can still talk to birds, man. I mean, come on, that's a superpower in my book, all right? You know, come on, don't knock that ability to talk to birds, audience. All right, it's a pretty OP power. Okay. So yeah, and the Impossible City basically like creates androids of himself, you know, to do some first aid on Sam. And okay, yes, Sam does have a fractured arm and maybe one or two broken ribs, but you know, Sam's still raring to fight. You know, feels like he has a lot to contribute. But unfortunately, this is where the Masters of Evil come in. The Mad Tinkerer unleashes a virus in the Impossible City, and yeah, now the very AI of the Impossible City is now stuck in his little android form, while the whole ship is now under control of the Masters of Evil. And now they're looking to see if they could release the Twilight Court. You know, the group that was supposed to kill King that the Avengers have encased in crystals. Yeah. So things ain't looking too good. And let me just bring up another picture of Madcap because god dang, the artist did a good job here. Look at that, audience. Look at that face. Take a second for that to sink in. You know?
No.
Why would they want to bring back them, the Twilight Court?
Because they feel like, I mean, they're still a powerful asset, you know? Like, hey.
No, they're not, though. It's their city. They're going to kill you and take the city back.
But I guess the Mad Tinkerer isn't aware of that. I mean, hey, he's a mad scientist. I'm sure he has some sort of plan that he could use them to his advantage, you know?
This is the man who told Reed that math is the language of the gods. Not a joke. He said that.
Okay. I mean, hey, he thinks in another worldly setting, you know? I'm surprised you're critiquing a scientist because it's usually Jake whose job to critique a genius level.
No, it's just usually he's actively smarter, so it feels weird.
Uh-huh.
This feel like weird choice
Mhm.
for him, I guess, based on last time I saw him.
Well, I guess look at it this way, right? He thought of a way to take advantage and and take over the Avengers headquarters at a time where they're at their weakest, you know? So yeah, he formulated this plan. So, So anyway, they're all celebrating. Yeah, we took over their headquarters. No resistance whatsoever, except they aren't aware that Sam Wilson's still in the place, and he's right next to the Impossible City, who's still in like kind of an android sort of body. And he goes on to mention, yeah, I'm also not a fighter. So basically, you have half an Avenger here and half an Avenger there. So hey, two halves equal one, So great minds think alike. So what does Sam do? He has the Impossible City combine himself with him, and I gotta say this: like we get a new costume for Sam here, audience. Let me bring up the picture of him first.
I told you he looked weird, Jake.
It's true.
Yeah, he has a busted arm, and what you're talking about the Impossible City's appearance? Yeah, he's red, and you
Yeah.
gotta get things against red people. Austin, come on.
He wasn't red. I'm
So-
talking about the thumbnail. I don't know why you're saying that.
Oh, okay. But anyway, let me bring up the picture of Sam's new design here. Boom.
Yeah, I said this looks weird.
No, I kind of like it. The whole blue look to him. Well, what don't you like about this?
Because just like to rip off of Steve's other Hydra suit, the one before he revealed he was evil. Remember he had the shield with like the sharp edge. It's literally the same suit but wings.
Nah, I don't see that. I mean, yeah, I see more of an emphasis on
How much
blue
you bet?
around his
How much
body.
you want to bet? No. You ain't about to gaslight me. I know what you're gonna talk about.
Oh, no, you're not. Nah. Okay, so it's his own suit, man. Like it's all going to bounce
It's
back
literally
to
not.
Steve. It all bounces back to Steve's suit. I mean, heck, you could say the same thing about Bucky when he was Captain America. Yeah, some of his design does look back to Steve's original Captain America design.
I know. So it's weird to say, "Oh, this is his own suit design," but it all comes back to how Steve wears his suit. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, you kind of need to have a suit that so makes people think that's Captain America. So there you go. So
Bro,
yeah,
you gotta be your own Captain.
hey, I'm digging this suit, audience. Like I like the blue and all that stuff, and I'm pretty sure that they wanted Sam to get a new Captain America suit, maybe in time for his next appearance if he ever gets another movie, hopefully. So yeah. He doesn't have much variations of his costumes in the comics. His Captain America costume, I mean, audience.
You know what? How about this? Jake, you tell me. Do you like the suit?
Yeah. Okay. Which
Huh?
do you like the suit?
Do I like what?
Do you like
The suit?
Sam's new suit?
Let me get a good look at this real quick. I don't know how I feel about it just yet. It's interesting. I don't hate
Okay.
it, but it's not
Mhm.
like my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, in my opinion, there's too much blue and not enough red.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think
And it could use a
point
little
is
white.
Oh man, I'm noticing this is a common thing with Sam's costumes apparently, where everybody seems to be saying like, "You're wearing a costume that's too similar to Steve now." I'm like, what the- come
I
on,
I
think
feel
come
like,
on.
okay, in my opinion, I
Look
feel
like
like
this.
everyone who has been
Mhm.
Captain America needs to have their own distinct suit. Like, obviously,
Mhm.
we all know
Yes.
Steve had like the same style of suit for a while. Bucky had his own, and like Sam had his own for a long time. So I don't understand why they had to change it to this. He kind of looks like Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
Emphasis
I said
on the
kinda. I
blue.
didn't
I
say
do
full
too.
on.
Nah, I just want him to, with all the discourse around Sam, I would just rather him always have his own suit that stands out, unique to him, in like every way
Mhm.
possible, if you can, just to
Mhm.
limit some of the bullshit he has to deal with. If that makes sense.
Gotcha. Would you guys feel better if they replaced the blue with red in this?
Not really.
Yeah, could
But,
agree,
Yeah,
I
because
don't know.
then,
I guess
but
I
I
would
don't
have
think
to
that looks
see
good on
it to
paper.
believe. I would
nah,
have to
because
see
if
it
you,
to believe it. That's my
yeah,
opinion on this.
because I guess the other flip side to that coin is if they replace the blue with red, in that case that would be too reminiscent of his Falcon costume.
I think
Yep.
that'd be fine though. At least that's unique to him.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Anyway, I dig the design anyway, audience. So, all right. So, yeah, Sam comes in. He has this brief fight with Madcap. Yeah, pretty good fight. Sam does chop Madcap's head off. So, there's that. But
Leg.
he's alive, audience. He's alive. Okay. So,
Mm.
healing factor and whatnot that he got from Deadpool when he shared a body with him. Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. So it's Sam and the Impossible City who are going to have to save the Avengers headquarters from the Masters of Evil, you know? So, yeah, there you go. That's really it for this issue. So, okay, we can pretty much move on to the next one. So, okay, I'm going to announce this one since the other person isn't. Predator versus Spider-Man #1, audience.
I didn't realize you switched pictures. I'm doing two things. I'm here.
Oh, okay. All right.
Since you already announced it, I guess we'll just go to the first thing. This
Okay.
book is interesting because they try to. The first thing they do, the first few pages, is just setting up like the battlefield, which is New York. But it's like, bro, we read comics all the time. If one thing we all know is New York, you know, we're here most of the
Yeah.
time. I don't need comic books telling me about the people in New York.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny because you see an FBI agent investigating a crime, but at the same time, you see like skin being pulled off of a man, and it's like 3 panels back to back, and it's like, bro, what the fuck? And that's the freak. Those are the first picture.
Yeah, I wanted to
It's
originally put this as part of the thumbnail, audience, but I thought that was a little bit too gruesome for the thumbnail. So,
bro, there were so many
Yeah, look at
gruesome
the
stuff in this
kids.
book I want to put into the review
mhm.
because the predator in this one is called Skinner.
Okay,
So I guess you can
okay.
tell what he likes to do to people.
Make them a
But
basket.
the FBI, they are stumped.
It
Go
sounds
ahead.
like this is his fatality of choice, audience, you know? So,
The FBI are stumped. They don't really know what to do. They find like broken body parts, broken ribs. But the other person who found something is Peter. He happened to be walking by because at this point it seems like he's still supposed to be a reporter for Jameson. It's kind of hard to place
okay.
where this Spider-Man is in his life.
Okay.
But you see him put his clothes in the trash can on Spider-Man No More, but it's just like his actual clothes that he put on Spider-Man too. And he
Okay.
and he started trying to look for this guy. And I was like, Spider-Man, I love you, you know? You're doing the right thing. But what in
Yeah.
your right mind thinks you just can track down a guy who's skinning people? I know you have a certain amount of skills, but if this guy isn't trying to attack you, how are you planning to track him down?
Isn't
Like
it
you're not a
handy to
detective.
have? But here's the flip side of that, Austin. Isn't it handy to know that you have a certain spidey sense to warn you of any incoming danger
Yeah, but it
like
only
this?
works if someone's trying to attack you. He's not nowhere near
Mhm.
Peter. You don't care about Peter.
Okay.
I don't think he is running to heroes yet, so we don't know what he's hunting. Seems like he's just hunting regular people right now. At least a predator.
Okay. Yep.
But you get Spider-Man going around the city. He's fighting some bank robbers who look like they're wearing bug masks. It's like chameleons masked with big bug black eyes.
All right.
Yeah, he's just stopping a random crime. He saved some kids and left them up. And I was like, bro, I don't know. You should be shooting that web at kids. There's like 8 of them. It looks weird. It's a bad panel. I don't know how you do that.
A
Yeah.
grown man,
So
a grown man shooting wet sticky stuff that kids. Yeah, what's wrong with that? You know?
Yeah, they should not have done that. That's not a great looking panel.
Mm-hmm.
Because especially because some of the webs look liquidy unless they're supposed to be water. It looks bad. It was so bad I didn't want to share it on the podcast.
Okay.
But the bank robbers wanted to get away, and they happened to run into the predator, and the predator immediately rips off his face and puts it on,
Oh God, dude, what?
and you get to see it.
Well,
There's the other panel I want to share. I might tag you to it in Discord when I get done. But I did not bring it on the podcast. But he puts on this man's face.
Is this Leatherman Predator or something like that, dude? I don't think I've ever seen a Predator
Bro,
actually do
he's
that
Skinner. He
before.
loves skin, bro. That's what he does.
Oh God. Okay.
You can go to the next picture. Of this, Mary Jane is on her way on the train, assuming to get home. The lights go out. This is after the predator stole the other guy's face. And for some reason, he's attacking the train car, as you can see in this photo. Look at that.
That's supposed to be the predator, dude. Fuck.
Yeah, he had the man's face stretched out over his face instead of his armor.
When he sent that picture, I couldn't tell what I was looking at. But now when you mentioned that that's a dude's face he's wearing.
Yeah, so Spider-Man, as this happens, finds the remains of the last man the Predator just killed, where he strung him up just like the first picture.
Okay.
And now he's freaking out because there's this new serial killer in town. The reason he's freaking out is because the last time anything like this happened in New York specifically, carnage had just started, taking root.
Okay.
And no one wants another carnage, ever. That's one thing you'll never want. But the best part about this book is the next page. Go to the next page.
Austin's Dream coming up, Austin.
I'm not going to scream. I can handle myself, unlike which I'm not going to lose control. But the FBI was running out of answers for what to do. So they said, you know what, Craven, we'll cut you a deal. We need help. There's a predator thing hunting the town. And he's like, bro, now tell me about this predator. And I tell you, every comment that I saw on the page, the thing I was reading, was losing their shit. They're like, this should have been the first in the first place. Why is Spider-Man even here? Wolverine versus Predator. No, this should have been the first book.
Craven's right, thinking himself. He's probably thinking himself, you looking at me, Dad? You looking at me, Dad? Are you proud of me? I'm going after the head predator himself. Man. You proud of me, Dad? Old man.
I really want if this end canon like the other one is supposed to be, I really want them to basically. Oh yeah, Cryptid. I sent the other picture if you want to see it.
I saw that. That's freaking. That was freaking New 52 Joker right there, audience. You know how like Joker took his face out and started wearing that as his mask. That's what this Predator's doing with a face right here. With a creepy smile.
Yeah.
And
so this book is the bloodiest Spider-Man book we had in a long time. But if this book is in continuity, like the other ones have been, at least in or out, depending on what writers want to do with it. It's written in a way that it can be in continuity if they want to continue that route. It's the best way to describe these books.
Yeah.
I want them to have the Craven take stuff from Predator from now on. Ooh. If Craven upgrades his base kits with Predator tech, I feel like he can be a bigger threat and a bigger hunter, depending on how they want to handle that. So I think people can agree the biggest problem with Craven is that not only did he peak early 90s because of the story he had was so impactful that people didn't want him back, to the point we had to do it again. This is his son. A lot of people still don't know that this is his son. So I feel like to make it different, you need to give his son something more. So make his son a more high-tech Craven could help him out in the long term.
Yeah. That was always such a funny situation for me, audience. Yay, the Marvel gives you what you want. They kill off Craven only to replace him with somebody that looks exactly like him and wears exactly the same clothes. You know? Huh.
To be fair, they're right that Nick Spencer said he had to do this because it was the only way he knew for a fact people would not go out their way to bring Craven back because they want that look.
So
So
it's just
he
a fun.
really
That's
believes
just a
that
fun
most people who are going to pick up Spider-Man after him, most writers would not be able to tell that's Craven Jr. and will not think about it. So they won't bring Craven back.
Yeah, you have to do those sorts of maneuvers in comics to, have your stamp on a character still live on throughout a writer's audience, So, mhm. But
But
nah,
that's the end of the book, man. I'm excited for issue 2.
oh yeah, nah, man. Like seriously, this sounds like it's gonna be bringing Craven back to peak and prominence. I do want to see him get that status quo boost in having like the Predator sort of armory here. So that's gonna be
Yeah.
something. Or at the very least, audience, I want to see Craven put a Predator skull in his trophy room at the end of this.
Yeah, I need that scene where Craven sitting down his chair. He has all the trophies behind him with a Predator
Yeah.
skull. That'll be peak. That'll be, bro.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, but
So yeah,
that's it. We'll see what
sounds like a good book that's as good as it is bloody. So yeah,
Was this book polybagged?
it should.
What?
It sounds like it should.
Okay.
Was it what?
Which is referring to those to what they were doing with Red Band comics. That vampire event.
Oh,
and
it's
what they're
not
doing with
Red
Blade.
Band, but it definitely should have been Red Band. It was a lot
Because
bloodier than
why
Blood.
isn't this Red Band, but the Werewolf by Night comic is Red Band?
I know. It sounds like. I
Maybe
guess they
because
just
it's not like splashing blood everywhere,
Mhm.
like how Blood Hunt was. Maybe just because it's just blood on people, not like splashing around all over the screen and on the ground and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I don't know.
So there's no like
And-
excessive gore and stuff like that.
Gotcha. And
Other
I
than like
guess
the
it's just
skinned body, there's not like a lot of
Mhm.
ripped up
I mean,
body parts. And
the
stuff.
werewolves do the same thing. So
Mhm. Yeah, I guess like the marketing department wanted this book to sell, and I don't know how much the Red Band comics sell.
I mean, they usually do sell out because they're like, ooh, different.
Mhm.
But yeah,
So by that standard, yeah, they definitely should have given this a Red Band label audience. Said that it didn't. So, all right then. Let's see. I guess with that we can move on to the next book, audience. Hold on a sec.
I guess not.
Okay,
What? Whoa!
it is
Oh,
our turn. How are you?
All right, man,
Yeah.
you're right. You're
doing
right.
today?
Go ahead.
Yeah, Jake, we're doing this in
No,
accordance
you're right.
with
You're right. You're right. No, I looked at the list.
Code.
I looked at the
All
list wrong.
yeah, y'all,
I looked at the
y'all almost pissed
It is
Jake off. Both
our
y'all did.
turn.
Yeah, I was like, what the
It
fuck?
is Encrypted's turn.
He's like,
This
get
is the
that
new
get that
thing that
mummy
keeps
book
us
out of
from
my
fighting.
face.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is the stuff that keeps us from fighting. So we're talking
Mhm.
about Universal Monsters: The Mummy issue 2. Do you want to
Mhm.
get started, or should I get started?
Nah, you take the bulk of this, witch.
Damn. Okay. Ugh.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we start off in Cairo, 1932. Where were you at in 1932? Doing nothing? That's what I thought.
Griffith,
I was in hell.
Griffith was
Anyway.
alive.
I was alive too, so don't worry. I was chilling. I had nothing to do in 1932. But anyways, there is someone in 1932 that's doing something, and it's our main character Helen, and she's reading the newspaper, talking about how they found the tomb of an ancient princess.
Oh,
Yeah.
And guess
Wait,
what?
can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Is Helen the same chick from the movies?
I don't remember. It's been a hot second since I've watched these movies.
Gotcha.
I'll
And
look it up.
obviously,
I'm kind of interested.
So for the sake of this conversation, let's just say no.
Mhm.
For that
Okay.
conversation, let's just say no.
Gotcha. And
Anywhoosies.
just add a little something, audience. It does seem like there was a time jump between here and the first issue because I believe Helen was still a teenager in that issue, right? But
Yeah.
here,
Oh yeah. No. Apparently, Helen is the same person. Yeah, Helen Rovner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, going back
Makes
to it.
sense.
So they found the tomb, and they brought the casket, like the remains of the princess, to the Cairo Museum, which is shocking because they would have put him in the British Museum. Because if you know
Mm-hmm.
anything about the British Museum, you know that they like to take shit that isn't theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so Helen is on her way to this gala, right? And she's talking to like this spirit thing that's in her mind, from the first issue, if you remember, and everything.
Okay.
Yeah, some people think she's crazy, but she's like, I don't give a fuck. I don't hear voices. I hear one voice. There's a difference. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Is there?
so, huh?
No, I was like, is there a difference?
Yeah, there's a difference because people think that she's hearing multiple voices, but she's only hearing one.
All right, Randy Orton.
Exactly. Anyway, so getting back on track because we're barely on the third page. So Helen makes her way to where the tomb is, and she's like, "Oh, this feels like very familiar. Like she kind of looks like us a little bit, huh?" And the voice is like, "Yeah, she does." So while she's like admiring like the casket burial thing, she is
sarcophagus.
the sarcophagus. I couldn't think of the word for a hot minute. Anyways, so she gets interrupted by this one guy, this random British dude, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I discovered her, and like I'm Frank Wemple. That's his name because it's fucking lame.
Yeah.
Of course you're British."
And also, I think the mummy corpse here is beautiful. Like,
yeah, he's like, I kind of fell in love with her a little bit when I first saw her. And like Helen was like, "You fell in love with a dead woman," and the voice in Helen's mind is like, "That boy is mad." I'm like, "Yeah, no shit." Okay, you weird necrophile.
And you know what his response was, Austin? Yeah, I heard that all my life.
Bro,
he's like,
he would have been
he's like, like he was the daughter of Egypt's pharaoh and the priestess of Isis. According to what we found in her tomb, she lived an incredible life before she died, and she's beautiful, don't you think?
Yeah.
And like, I don't have a picture of it, unfortunately, because I wasn't able to get scans. But like Helen's face when he's talking about this like dead girl from like thousands upon thousands of years ago, she's like, "Are you fucking kidding me right now?"
Yeah, because also keep in mind, audience, the way this mummy looks, and the sarcophagus is made to look like the mummy herself, right? And Helen realizes, yeah, this mummy looks an awful lot like me. So not only is this guy,
we will explain this later. We will explain more on this later.
Austin, you were about to say something?
No, this dude has to be fired, bro. This is ridiculous. You're not, bro.
Yeah, Austin, keep this in mind. This is
how he gonna sleep with the body. He has to go.
Austin,
well, he hasn't. To our knowledge, he didn't sleep with the body. He just saw what she looked like after she died. So
yeah, keep it. This is 1932, Austin. There are no hidden cameras or anything like that. So yeah, this dude's a creep.
Anyways, going back to it, so he just keeps rambling, about this dead girl, and Helen is like, "Okay, now you are being too strange," and he's like, "I'm talking nonsense. Let's go back to you scolding me," and she's like, "I'm glad to," but before she can scold him again, two men walk in, right? And so one of them is Dr. Moeller, who's the one who's hosting this gala, and the other one is the father of this guy that came in, talking about how he fell in love with a 1,000-year-old dead girl. And
I don't like this book anymore.
It gets interesting. Okay, you get away from the white men, the white British men later. Okay. Anyways, so they're chatting a little bit, and so then Helen's about to leave, and the guy's like, "Will you join us? Like, let's talk to you a bit more." And she's like, "Another time," and she leaves. Honestly, valid. Anyway, so these guys are talking a bit more about, this guy, like maybe getting a romance with like an actual living person. and mummies and stuff. And so we see this shadowy figure from behind, right? Where he's like, I am here. I am Ardith Bay. And, you know, he that's all we see of him for a hot second. And so we see Helen just like walking around the museum and everything. And she's like, yeah, okay, thank goodness this party's finally over. Like, I'm bored. I'm leaving. So she gets into a cab. She's about to leave. But we cut back to that guy that we saw from behind doing like a ritual of some kind. I cannot tell you what exactly he's doing, but he's doing a ritual. And so we see Helen in the taxi. She's like, oh, like someone is speaking. And so she screams out like, he's calling me. He's calling me. So we see her kind of like in like this weird daze type of look where she's just repeating the same phrase, like the same phrases, like two specific names. And we see her banging on the door of the museum.
Yeah.
And so you know, remember that guy from earlier? Well, he's back. And he's like, oh, that's Helen. I wonder what she's doing back. So he goes to check up on her, you know, because, like, I would be a little concerned, too. And so he's like, hey, Helen, are you okay? And so she faints in his arms. She's like, and he's like, ah, shit. And anyway, so we cut to the inside of the museum where we see, I'm assuming, a patrol guy walking around.
Yep.
He sees the sarcophagus. He looks behind the sarcophagus because he sees, like, a light behind it. And he's like, who's there? Like, the museum is closed. He sees a little ritual that's done. And we see that guy from earlier, kill the guy. Kill the patrol guy. Stab him right through the eyeball.
Yep, thumb to the eye and everything, audience, with wrinkly-ass arms. Nope.
I know. Have you ever heard of a skincare routine? Jesus Christ. Go get rehydrated and come back to me.
Yep.
Anyways, so Helen was taken to a nicer place where she can, like, not be at the museum, like, entrance on the cold-ass ground in public, because you never know what could happen. Anyway, so she says that name again, and the guy's father, I don't remember his fucking name. I honestly don't care to remember his name. He's like, what did she say? And his dad is like, oh, I haven't heard that name for like around 10 years. I hope I never hear that again. Yeah. So he was like, do you remember the name of my old assistant, Ralph? And the son is like, yeah, I do. He went mad during a dig season. And the father's like, oh yeah, that mummy guy, you know, that name that she keeps repeating over and over again? Yeah, well, so the mummy, like, we discovered, well, he vanished. And the last thing that Ralph said when he was walking away, like, it broke his mind. And then, yeah. Anyways, doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. Because Helen wakes up. And we find out that she was taken to this guy's house. Luckily, nothing happened. To our knowledge, nothing happened. We're fine. And she's like, how did I get here? I don't remember anything. And it's like, I don't remember going to the museum after I left initially and everything. It's like, can you also, like, tell me where the bathroom is so I can, like, freshen up?
Yep.
So anyway, she goes to the bathroom and she's talking to her lovely friend. You know, in her mind, it's fine. Anyways, so yeah, she's kind of low-key figuring this out and freaking out at the same time. But don't worry. Anyway, so she hears some voices from outside of the bathroom. It's the other guys that were there from the gala. You know how it'd be. Anyways, so we hear a knock at the door. And, like, Helen's about to leaving the bathroom. So you hear, like, a, you know. So the assistant guy, I'm assuming, like, the servant guy, opens the door and he's, like, immediately bows to this guy, you know, like, on his knees, head to the ground. And so Helen, like, walks out of the bathroom. She's like, huh, what happened? And she sees this guy, wrinkly as fuck. Get a fucking skincare routine. Go re-moisturize yourself. Okay? It's not that hard. So we see two panels. We see two full pages. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to get these pages. But just imagine Helen seeing this guy, right? Who is, spoiler alert, the mummy in question.
Oh,
like
big shocker. Right?
For this situation in modern time. And then the next page, we see what we can assume is those two again, but in the past, but with an all-black background.
Yep.
And everything like that. So Helen's like, wait, I know you. Like, I know you. It's like, And the second voice is like the voice in her head, right? Like I'm assuming like her reincarnation, but like her pre-reincarnated self. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of where it ends. It's where those two reunite and all that jazz. And then that's where the issue ends. And we get some monster mail because why not? And we also see a thing for a different comic, but we're not talking about other comics. We're talking about The Mummy. So stay tuned for issue 3 on May 28th, 2025.
Gotcha. Yeah, this book really makes me want to go watch the actual Mummy movie because, again,
Maybe we should. Maybe we should take some time to watch all the old monster movies.
Here we go again.
We can't do that. Jake does not want to watch black and white films.
Well, that sucks to suck.
I thought you meant the Brendan Fraser one. Oh.
No, we gotta watch the OG one.
The OG one. Yeah, because it's one thing if when it came to Frankenstein, right? Because I think like general public knows the concept of the original Frankenstein movie, but the Mummy, I don't. Aside from the character of the Mummy, I don't know if too many people are familiar with the actual Mummy movie. Aside from the Brendan Fraser one,
A lot of people don't even know Hematite is the original Mummy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly what I mean, So, yeah, again, this book makes me want to go watch that movie because I feel like there's some lore building here for a movie I haven't actually watched yet, because I didn't even know Helen was in that movie until now. So, yeah. All right.
See, he gets it.
Yeah, I get my I have my homework to do before the next issue, audience, to see if I can watch the Mummy movie. So, yeah. All right, then. I guess with that, we should probably move on. Go ahead, Jake. Go ahead.
I just thought. Yeah, I just looked at the order wrong. I thought it was supposed to be the Spider-Man, and then it was this. I was just wrong. Anyway, we are back with the Bionicle Island of Doom saga. With our brand new heroes, our brand new toy line, the Toa Inika. So there, last time we left off, they have arrived on the island. They had discovered that they're not Matoran anymore. They're not little keychains. They're super powered Toa heroes. Okay. And I do like that we do take a minute for them to kind of discover their powers. Unlike the original Toa Metro, where half of that book is them learning what their powers are. They figured them out right away pretty quickly. So we found out that like Nuparu, who's the black Toa over there, he can fly, which is peculiar because usually it's the green Toa's job to fly. And Kagu's like, yo, what the fuck? Why can you fly and I can't? Fuck you. He's just
Jake, the answer is simple. You gotta believe he can fly.
No, it's because Matanui
can touch the sky.
No, like imagine all your life. First off, it's your job to fly. Like he actually, where he's from, he like flies like birds and shit. But secondly, imagine all your life you hear the legends of the green Toa always be able to fly, and then you get to be a Toa, and it's some other Toa that's known for like Earth and shit that can fly. Like fuck you. Like what?
Okay, there was some scrambling in the paperwork in that department, I guess, Jay.
You know what's funny? That comes up. Kagu and Nuparu have a talk about that. He's like, because Jala's later, he's like, Nuparu, why don't you just fly us across the gorge? And then the Kongo's like, wait. How about you just give me your mask, Nuparu? Because clearly I'm supposed to fly. I'm the green one. That's my job. Like Nuparu's like, listen, I don't want to argue with you, but Destiny gave me this mask, so it has to be for a reason. Therefore, I'm going to hold on to this mask just for a little while longer.
Isn't that kind? Is that racist? I'm green, so I have to fly.
That's how he sees it. That's how it's always been for 1,000,000 years and for 1,000,000 more. Okay. So, but yeah, so Kongu's like, this is just stupid. But anyway, Kongu I think gets a pretty cool mask. He can read other Toa's. He can read other people's minds. He's a mind reader now. And this comes important because he figures out everybody else's powers. Like I like how he also brings up there's some lampshading too. Huki, who's the other black one over there, the black and yellow one, he goes through all their minds. He's like, okay, well, Jala's trying to figure out what's going on. Holly, she's thinking about what to tell a Gali teacher, and then and Huki, he's like, why am I yellow now? And if you were here last week, or if you know the lore, the reason that Huki is yellow instead of brown is because the brown Toa don't sell, and so we had to change the color. So
it doesn't sell in general in
nobody want no
any franchise. Yeah, in general, any color franchise will never have a brown depiction of them. You ain't getting a brown Ranger. You ain't getting a brown Lantern. So what makes you think brown Bionicle will succeed?
I thought Wenua looked cool. I like Wenua. He was the last brown Toa we had.
Oh,
I'm back. Yeah.
Jake is like Jake is like, I wanted my poop toy.
Yeah, but yeah. So we also find out something too. We find out 2 powers at once. So Jala's like doing a head count on his team. My boy's like, all right, everybody. So we're gonna group up, and they like, I don't know what that was. We're gonna group up and we're gonna figure things out. Madara, where are you at? And then he's like, Madara. He turns around. Madara just laid out like a Family Guy character getting knocked out after a fight. He's like, Madara, what the fuck? Are you okay? And Jala goes over to Madara, and he's like, dead. And Jala's like, yo, what the fuck happened? How is he dying? We were just here. And Holly's like talking to herself. Like he looks over to Holly. He's like, Holly, give me your thoughts. And Holly's like talking to herself. He's like, yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, that's what's up. And everyone's like, yo, what the fuck? Is she insane? And Kongo's like, no, I'm reading her mind right now. She thinks she's talking to Madara right now. And she's just talking to thin air. And Jala's like, oh my God, what happened to my team, bro? What happened to my unit? So,
Jake?
See, bro, this is why Bionicle should be banned from the night.
Oh, okay.
So,
Jake, you were out for a bit, just to let you know. So,
say it again.
No, you were silent for a bit.
Get out for a minute.
Oh yeah. I think it's because my Wi-Fi's been cutting in and out, so I'm gonna have to pay attention to context clues. But yeah, so like Holly has apparently can talk to spirits, and Matura's mask power is he can turn into a spirit. That's right, he has the mask of the dead. Okay, where he becomes dead. So so basically so Matura becomes like the spirit, and he's trying to figure out how to get back in his body. Apparently he can like phase through walls and everything. Wait, did I cut out again? Or am I back?
No, you there. You still there.
Okay.
We hear you.
Okay. I have no way of knowing. It's just like if I hear too much silence, I'm like, did I cut out? Because I know that's what's happening. But Matsuro apparently can go through walls and shit, and then he's like, hey, there's some Matoran over there. They keep talking about some shit called the Paraka. We gotta investigate that shit. And they're like, okay, let's get in our bodies and go about our day. Meanwhile, the Paraka have been kind of great because what I love about them is they've kind of done all the victories they could right now. So now the only thing they can do is try to kill each other because they're gonna get this mask by gum. And I love how there's a comic panel in the book where they just for no reason, there's no build up, they just decide like, you know what, fuck you, I want to fight, and they just start trying to kill each other. And Vizok's like, wait, stop, please, we're right here, we're about to get the mask, just stop fighting. just please. Like, can we just be friends can we pretend to be friends for like one day and we can find the mask together?
Yeah, you know.
It's like imagine if the Masters of Evil finally won, but before they could get the thing they wanted, they just kept fighting each other and they couldn't get it at all. And they're like, okay, well, fine. What the fuck do you want us to do? He's like, well, listen, you guys remember there was actually, there's 6 of us now, but you remember there was actually 7 of us, right? And they're like, yeah, we remember that traitor. There was another guy named Vizon, not Vizok, Vizon. And he went off to this island to look for the Mask of Life by himself, but he never came back, that fucking traitor. And they're like, yeah, right. And so they're like, okay, well, listen, he went to go find the Mask of Life, and he's like somewhere. So let's go split up. I want two of you to go find him. We're gonna deal because listen, we saw 6 stars in the sky. That means there's 6 new Toa on the island. I'm gonna go deal with that with the rest of the crew. But you guys go look for Bizon and we'll figure it out from there. And they're like, fine, whatever. And so they go on their little quest. I think it's like Radok and like another one. And again, they're like, listen, if I don't have to work with you, I'm gonna kill you personally. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so basically they get into this. They get trapped by a Mator. They find they find the pod. Basically, they find like the pod that the canister that Bizon must have came in. They actually, I like how smartly they deduced this. Well, they say when we showed up, the Matoran didn't recognize us at all. They don't even know that they didn't know what we are. They thought we were Toa, which means when Bizon got here, he didn't interact with any Matoran. So that means he's probably somewhere far. His canister is probably somewhere far off the edge of the island where no Matoran would be. And so they find the canister and they're like, oh shit, this is crazy. And then they get attacked by none other than Brutaka. Now, some of you might not remember Brutaka is one of the 2 Bionicle Titans we introduced. I'm sorry, Axon. Axon is one of the 2 Bionicle Titans that was introduced. Brutaka was the other one. That's why I made the mistake. And I like that Axon makes quick work of the Paraka. He's like, listen, I'm just fighting 2 of you. If it was all 6 of you, maybe. But 2 of you, that's a morning snack, bro. And they tried their best, but Axon humiliates them. Like one time, I think Radok lifts a boulder and is about to throw it at Axon. He's like,
Jake? Uh-oh, we lost Jake. Jake!
What's up?
Okay, yeah, you cut out for a bit.
Oh, what was the last thing you remember me saying?
He lost something. Like, you cut out for like about 5 seconds.
5 seconds. Oh, okay. It was so I guess I must have been talking about Axon. Axon was fighting like the 2 Paraka, and like they're pretty much getting their asses whooped. And Axon's like, listen, like I think Radok picks up a rock and tries to hit Axon, and Axon's like, listen, you got 5 seconds to put that rock down. I'm gonna whoop your ass. How about that? And then Radok's like, damn, bro, he kind of means it. Luckily, Brutaka, his brother in arms, the Megatron to his Optimus Prime comes in, and he manages to get the upper hand and knocks out Axon, unfortunately. Meanwhile, the Toa Inika are continuing their quest, and they come around the corner. They notice that there is one lone Paraka by himself, the blue one. And I forgot which one name it is, but
All right.
Jake.
The curse lives on.
they're going off next time.
Okay, you're back.
So I don't know where I cut out, but basically the Toa Inika are gonna jump a singular Paraka to see to get some information out of him, to extort him, basically. And so where we leave off too, Vizok saw Nuparu flying earlier, and he's like, we don't really have any flying Paraka here, I don't think. And also, and so that's probably the Toa. I should get the team together and we should take them on together. And then he thinks about it. He's like, no, you know what? Maybe I'll take them on by myself. And so, he goes off to do that as we come to a close. Right now I am enjoying this story arc. I still think my problem with the Toa Inika is like, they have cool personalities, but they're not as fleshed out as the Toa Metros, and they're not as distinct as the Toa Nuvas. I think it's my main problem with them. They have cool armor. I really love their armor. I really.
Jake.
They have cool armor, guys. Just remember that.
Jake.
Am I cutting out?
Okay. The last thing you said was that they had cool armor.
Yeah, they have. I like that they have. I like their armor. I like their. I think it's like the coolest armor. One of the coolest armor sets we have. I think my main problem with them is just their personalities are not distinct enough. They feel like Toa Metru light as opposed to their own personalities. I think before with the Toa Nuva and the Toa Metru, there was a clear distinction in between not just their 2 teams, but the individual personalities within them. And I think that as time goes on, I want to see more individuality in the Toa Inika, because there's nothing really about them I could say like, oh, this is what makes this team. This is what makes the individuals distinct from the previous 2 teams. I think that's my major problem with them right now. But
This is after Jake did all that glaze and calling it the greatest team of all time and all that extra shit.
they are the greatest hype team. They by default they would. All right. Actually, no. I said the Toa Nuva are the strongest team in the verse. This is just the coolest team in the verse.
Mm-hmm.
Already
Did Jake cut off again?
Oh, I got cut out again.
Yeah.
I said that. I said the Toa Nuva are the strongest. The Toa Metru are the best personalities, and the Toa Inika are the coolest. Those are the three things right there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so next time we'll see how the Toa Inika handle the Paraka. Will there be a better team than the Toa Nuva? Let's find out next time. So, oh, by the way, small thing.
Yeah,
I love this render for this team. The render for this render looks really good on them. But yeah,
Jake.
what?
Jake.
Oh, what's up?
He was talking. What are you talking about? You did not cut out.
Oh, okay, cool.
I just wanted to mess with Jake there. So Jake.
Oh, well, don't mess me up right there. No, Jesus, bro. This is stressful. Good thing I only have one book today, huh?
Just wait for this pop up when you talk about Silverhawks, man.
Yeah, I know, right?
Wait, yeah, you can talk about Silverhawks, Sonic, and some of at the same time.
Yeah. But alright then. I guess with that, we should probably move on to the next book, audience. So, all right.
Godzilla Heist. Now that we finally left those losers and that dumb body of some giant robot or something, wherever Bionicle-The, we can get to a real story about real people.
Mm-hmm.
Our story starts off with a man gambling and walking around a casino because he's here trying to steal, he's trying to steal. But as we look up, Godzilla, go to the first picture. I want to make sure.
Did you first picture? Did you right there?
Okay, yeah. Godzilla attacks the I almost said theater, bro. The casino. And he destroying the town. But the smart thing about it, as this goes on, our main character is robbing the place. You see, he's kind of smart. He found a way to predict or bring Lord Godzilla to places so he can rob these places successfully. And that's what he did here. And as you can see, Godzilla's not playing around. Wherever's triggering him, he's going all out to try to kill it. And if you read the book, our main character lets him survive. I feel like after doing this one time, you probably will never do this again. So he literally almost dies in the page right after this.
Some people are there for the thrill of the hunt. Yeah, for all awesome,
But he ended up finding a room full of money. And I mean, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He has 20 bags of money getting flew by drones.
Yeah.
To a helicopter.
It's like Walter White at some point. I mean, it's like Walter White. Like at some point, are you doing this for money or are you doing this for the thrill? So the adrenaline.
And he walked out the casino, and Godzilla straight up just looks at him and bends down. He's on easy peasy lemon, and Godzilla like coughs in his face. As Godzilla goes to attack him, he gets sent by the government because the government here is like the General Ross when he's going at the Hulk, bro. He had the whole squad. He got tanks. He got everything immediately. They're like, how did y'all assemble that fast? He just got it. But our guy lives and he gets going. The problem is, as he makes it back to his hideout, he gets knocked out. And then we get a flashback. I assume him, his childhood, and some him, his mom, looking at a power plant or something. It's hard to tell. There's only one page. Yeah. But go to this picture. That's where we meet our full cast of people. The main character who I don't think we have so far. Now let's see. We're all friends. We get this. Look, Jake. Look at this. I don't know if you're still here, but look how they put the names of people on their name, on with them right here. You got Alpha, the buff, what is it? The leader. Sorry, I got to zoom in to read. The leader, former military, like the rest, a tactician, who love the mud and blood and too much to change right, bro. They love the fight. That's the person sitting down.
So they're gonna
The
die.
redhead is Beta, a
Yeah.
psychopath who be in some deep dark jail if the army didn't need someone who's so good at killing, bro.
Oh yeah. You
The
have
above
Kappa.
him is standing. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you have Kappa. Yeah, I have the book in front of me, Austin. So yeah, I can read the descriptions if you want. All right. So you have
Yes.
Kappa, who is the quiet one, who could also rip your Lyrax out of with her fingernails. Yikes. Some people, manicure their fingernails. Look what she does. She uses them to rip out body parts. Then next to her, you have the one with the dreads. You have Chi, who's a gearhead with a mouth that runs even faster than his brain. Yep. Oh, and then I didn't even notice this until now. You see in the right hand corner the shadowy guy, like he's literally named the man in the shadows. He's the owner of the yacht, the one who's really in charge of whatever this is. And the audience, he's completely covered in darkness here, so he's black.
I
So
won't lie, bro. I want him to come out and look like one of the dudes from Ocean's 11. I think that'd be kind of fun.
You might as well have it at that point, So, yeah.
But they basically got a rope tied to our guy's leg, and they're saying we're gonna let you fall off the cliff into the water if you don't help us out. There's some really dark recruitment stuff that they know that he's manipulating Godzilla or figuring out where Godzilla's going to attack to rob places. They just don't know how.
Yeah.
But as this goes on, Godzilla's already coming out the water to go fight somewhere. Funny enough. But if he don't, he's gonna die. But luckily he agrees because what's the point of dying here? That's kind of stupid, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
So they start setting up for the next. They start setting up for the next heist. We see where is this? They won't tell this man who the target is.
Ooh.
But so he tells them to fuck off. But the target is the next photo. Long story short, these people aren't just here for money. They want Mecha Godzilla.
Bring me his head. Like that.
5 people to go steal a giant mech just in the army.
What?
They're sending a bunch of people to go get a giant mech. Is that my understanding of the
No,
plot?
these people don't work with the army anymore. They did.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those off the books things. The U.S. government can't be seen in control of Godzilla, Mecha Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
yay,
it's the best way to do it.
Yay. They need to have the Mechagodzilla come over in the hands of the American government and have the flag tattooed all over him. Yay. Mecha American Kaiju audience.
I'm surprised they haven't done that yet, to be honest.
It will be too
U.S.
cool
mech or something.
US 8. US 8. Mark 8. That's what you do.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be kind of fun. They should do that. But this book was nice and I don't say it's short, but it's really interesting. A lot of Godzilla books are fun because either Godzilla's the main character or it's just people trying to do stuff around Godzilla ruining all their plans. And it's kind of fun.
This is one of those comics where if you see it like in your comic book store, you kind of want to pick it up just based on the title alone, Godzilla Heist. Wait, what? Somebody's going to try stealing something in the midst of a kaiju fight? Okay, I kind of got to see where this goes,
Isn't that right, Jake?
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, it definitely sounds better than Godzilla versus Chicago, which is actually a comic audience. Like, wait, what? Who thought that?
Yeah, it's versus Chicago versus New York. There's another one versus I think it's gonna be one versus Atlanta soon too.
Oh, jeez, man! I'm looking at that book like it's part of the Godzilla versus America lineup. Oh, jeez, I should have been on this. Where was I? Dang it. So, okay. I have something on my on my
I just think
comic
it's
book list
funny. Like,
now.
why Chicago? You want to get shot up? You want Godzilla versus the gangs of Chicago? That's all it's going to be.
I know, right? Godzilla doesn't need to know what the mean streets are really like. You know, he's too busy blowing up
Yeah,
buildings after all, you know? So,
yeah, he
yeah.
ain't ready for all that.
I know, right? Hey, come on. New York gets too much attraction as it is. Other cities in America deserve some spotlight every once in a while, you know? I think we've seen New York blown up 1,000 times at this point. Come on, give the other cities a try. Yep.
Yeah,
So,
Jake.
Why do I keep getting brought into
mhm. Gotcha. But yeah, that's really it for the book, audience. You know, any final thoughts, Austin, before we move on?
No, I really like it. The second issue will depend on if I keep reading it or not. I
Hmm.
don't really like to put like stuff into like the introduction books. So we just
Yeah.
got to know the characters, know the mission. Let's see if the team is actually competent next season. Because if we go
Got
into this and these teams start running around like Ed, and Eddie or something, I don't know if I'm gonna keep this book, bro.
Got it. Got it.
Hey Austin, if you had to be a character from Ed, Ed, and Eddie, which one would you be?
Shit. I guess Double D.
Double
Yeah.
D. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Hmm?
I would be the
Yeah.
Plank. You know, he seems
Oh,
like having a chill life. I don't know. It's been a
double
hot
Jake will be
second since
Ralph.
I've seen
double
that show.
double D is the
Jake will be
one
Ralph, the
person
son of a shepherd.
I feel like that'd be Tony, to be honest.
Hey, actually, it's okay. The son of the shepherd will most likely be me, but I just want to say, Double D,
Oh, well, I
he's the
guess
only
yeah.
person. Double D, he's the only person there who's most likely to succeed in his future. Let's put it that way.
I
So,
remember
yeah.
years ago when I was in middle school, my friend at the time, because I was at their house, they were showing me like ship art between, I can't remember which characters. Like one of them was like that one douchey jock character. I think his name's Kevin, and then one of the
Yeah.
main
Yeah.
characters. I was like, damn,
Oh,
this is
Kevin
actually
and
pretty
Eddie.
popular. It's popping off on Pinterest.
That will be Keddy
Yeah.
then? Your ship name? Keddy?
Yeah, I think so.
Or Evan?
I think it was
Something
I
like
think it was the first one. Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not into that. I'm not into that fandom.
Yeah. Out of all the other kids in cul-de-sac, it's really Kevin who has the most beef with Ed with the Eds. So yeah. Yeah. So all right then, audience. I guess with that we can move on to the next book.
Yay, my turn. I had to like have the comic on one side and then the pictures on the other side because I never remember what pictures I have. Anyways, Marvel Voices Avengers Academy 41, Christ's Crown. Yay, you guys ready for some witch trials?
Are you on trial?
No, someone's on trial, but it's not me. I'm too cool to be on trial.
It's a witch trial. You should be the
We
first
don't
one.
believe you.
Yeah, well, it's not me. I'm not
Exactly.
the witch on trial. It's a different witch that's on trial.
Okay.
Okay, you got it.
You don't
You
have to
guys
lie.
ready
This is okay.
Anyways, if it can load, that'll be great. Anyways, we get some narration. Like some narration from one of the characters, and we're in the town of Christ's Crown in New York in 1658. So definitely peak Puritan. Oh no, OG Puritan times, because if you know, you know. Anyway, so we see this like this maiden, okay, with her dog. They're in their garden. It's great. She's singing a little tune, and we see some goth guy. Okay, he pulls up and he's like, "Mistress Houseman, like I am Stephen Hart, the Viscount Diablo. I have crossed oceans of," and she's like, "Okay, can it, Diablo? I know who the fuck you are. You ain't slick." And I'm like, keep in mind, I haven't seen this Diablo fit since I was reading Alpha Flight. That's my Alpha Flight girl, like, mention of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Gilded Lily, if anyone knows who she is, you're cool in my book. Anyways, so Abigail's like, yeah, I know who you are, Diablo. I know who you serve across centuries. Like, shut the fuck up. And he's like, indeed, then we must dispense the pleasantries. Give me the book and life. And he's like, give me the book and you'll live. And she's like, you can't compel me to do shit, bruh. Like, I don't, like, your master's rules of bargains are clear. and I'll be faithful, the book and my life, and then are bound. So leave me alone. And Diablo's like, you never cease to amaze me how cheaply so many throw away their lives. And he's like holding like the ring with that one guy, with that one eldritch abomination. Anyways, so Abigail is like, yeah, some things matter more than breath, as you never learned, because you're still here being annoying. Like, and though I walk in shadow, I don't fear your ass. And he's like, oh, you will. And it's like, shut the fuck up, bro. No one likes you. So Diablo decides to be a bitch and cast like a curse on this little town where, like the cattle are dying, the crops are fucked, like people's bodies are being polluted with illnesses and microplastics, whatever the equivalent of microplastics are back in the whatever the equivalent of microplastics are in the 1600s. Anyways, can you switch to the first picture?
Oh, is that me? Oh,
someone. Yeah, that picture. So Abigail gets the book and she does a spell, and to summon someone. And she summons Blackheart, also known as Gabriel. And he's in his like modern clothes. He isn't in like clothes that would fit the time era because he's too cool for that apparently. So he's like, "Hello, little hedge witch, how you doing?" It's like, "Sorry, I'm a bit out of practice about this. What thou need of Blackheart? Like whatever. Like he does like bullshit speech." And she's like, "What? Like a spirit of health or goblin damned, like you must obey me now. Like no tricks, nothing, no lies, nothing like that." And she's like, and Gabriel's like, "Yeah, I only ever speak the truth, lady. Like, trust me, I find nothing deceives me quite like it." And he tries to do like some magic, and he's like, "What the fuck did you do to my magic? Like, what happened to my powers?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, you're spellbound. Like, as long as I live, you can't harm anyone. Like, nothing living." And he's
That's
like,
right,
"Dang, yeah, bitch." Anyways, and so Gabriel's like, "How the fuck did you do that?" And Abigail's like, "Oh yeah, I'm learning from my grandmother's book. She died to protect it, written by the twin fingers of the demiurge." Just imagine my face went up to like the camera, which we totally have on right now. Anyway, so
yes.
Apparently it's called the Bright Hold, which is the opposite of the Dark Hold, apparently. You get the idea. Anyway, so Gabriel's like, "Your grandmother?" And he's like, "Oh, like you're Abigail Houseman. Okay, yeah." And so basically he's like, "Oh, like call me Gabriel. Like I've heard of you since the vexed nightmares of my cradle, blah, 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 blah. The one lovely thing I dreamt of, like, yeah. We get it." Anyway, so he's like, "Can you, like, you can read this?" And she's like, "I'm trying, like, but it must be in the tongues of angels." And Gabriel's like, "Well, certainly, I guess, and all this other stuff." And guess what? He helped her out, taught her some stuff. They're doing fun alchemical witchy stuff because that sounds fun. Doing alchemical witchy stuff. Wait, you want to do that? No? Well, you're lame. Anyways, so basically he helped her and she helped him, and it's all good to go. Keep in mind, even though she does do magic, she also does like actually help people. She's like a doctor, kind of. And in the 1600s, in Puritan America, anyways, I had to get a quick drink. Anyways, so she's helping out this one old person who is not feeling well. And they're like, "Oh, who's your handsome companion here?" And Abigail's like, "Oh yeah, he's family. It's all good." And like later on, she tells Gabriel, being like, she's like telling him about like her grandmother and all this other stuff, how cool it is. And I almost put this like nice little screen cap of Gabriel, but I didn't. But basically it's him surrounded by roses, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I've beheld of all the kingdoms of the world, Babylon, Versailles, the palace of the Kree Scroll Emperors, blah 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 blah." Yeah, he knows about working at whole thing, okay guys? He knows about the gay space wedding. He just wasn't invited to the gay space wedding. Anyway, so he's like, I mean, he wasn't like this beforehand, but whatever. Anyway, so he's like, "I promise you, Abigail, there are none as beautiful as the briars of your bower, or whatever the fuck that means. I don't understand your flowery speak. No puns intended, Gabriel. Anyway, so Abigail's like, you are kind, and so he's like, yeah, like, I'm not kind, I'm just honest, you know. Anyway, so Abigail's like, I must go, like, get dinner started, like, come and tells the dog to come along and everything. And so while she's walking away, he's like, I'll save her a mortis, and like Nathaniel's like, you can't and you won't. You know how this goes. You can't save them all. And Gabriel's like, then why am I here, Nathaniel? Can you switch to the next picture, please? It should be of Nathaniel Richards. Thank you. Ooh, look at him being all godlike. Anyway, so he's like, oh, the same as all of us always. To help
Wait.
What? I'm not going with my quote.
This is Reed Kid.
This is Nathaniel Richards, who also known as King the Conqueror, also known as Immortus, founding member of the.
Every time you said Nathan, I kept thinking of Nate Gray instead of Nate Richards.
Fair enough, honestly. Anyways, back to my quote. So he's like, oh, to help who we can, to witness and to remember. And like Gabriel's like, I want to save this person. This person's cool. Like, the fuck you mean? Anyways, so we cut to later that night. It's a rainy night in a church, and we see some people where one guy was like, weeks uncounted, like we suffered, like we would all be, and then this other guy's like, we would all be dead if it wasn't for Miss Abigail. And so we see someone come in to the church, right? And he's like, you craven fools, pardon a poor peddler, but Mistress Houseman is your problem. Like, you must, like, you know what you must do, like, in your darkest hearts. Can you switch to the next picture? It should be this goth motherfucker, this evil goth motherfucker. He's not cool. This is Diablo, by the way, if you were curious. It's been a while since I've seen him, am I right? Anyway, so he's like, you must obey the scriptures, obey your God, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. It's like, can you leave us alone? We're trying to chill. You know, right, Jake? We're just trying to chill. Like, us witches, we're trying to chill out. But no, these puritanical freaks have to ruin it for the rest of us. Okay, Austin. Because of the name you put on here, you're not going to get tried for being a witch. Because, look, you're not witch.
Exactly.
I
need to change that, by the way.
Yeah, you can change it next time. You have until next week. Anyways, so this guy, his name is Malcolm. He knocks on Abigail's door, and she's like, oh, Malcolm, dear, like, what is it? It's so late. And he's like, please, Abigail, my sister's very sick. Like, won't you help? And she's like, okay, yeah, I'll go. Like, I can help her out. And so Gabriel's like, Abigail, like, please don't go. Not tonight. Like, please. And she's like, don't worry about it. I'm fine. Like, it'll be all good. Like, I have to do this. This is our work. Like, we can, like, help who we can. So she goes off. And she's like, I'll see you later. You know, like, it'll be all fine and dandy. So Malcolm is, like, kind of, like, grabbing her arm and, like, kind of tugging her to wherever she's being taken. And he's like, mind the thorns and all this other stuff. And she's like, Malcolm, like up Christ Crown's Hill. Like, where the hell are we going? This is not the way to your place. Like, what happened? So we see Diablo and a whole bunch of other Puritans at the top of a hill. And we see a thing that was constructed with a rope in the middle of the bar that's on top of it. And he's like, Diablo's like, on the contrary, Abigail Houseman, the damned witch of Christ Crown, this is the only way. So, and Abigail's like, shit. Well, I guess I'm dying then. You know? And so we cut to Gabriel and back into the house where he's chilling out with that old person, like with the old lady. And so basically she's like, it's time, isn't it? Like, I'm gonna die, you know? And he's like, yeah, I'm sorry. The cancer has gone too far and I have no gift to give. And she's like, will you pray for me? Like, pray with me? And he's like, I cannot. Like, I'm a wicked thing and I'm no priest. And she's like, it's fine. Like, there's no priest here. Perhaps, like, not even a god. You know, just like, can you just hang out with me while I do this? And he's like, yeah, I'll stay with you until, like, it comes. Don't worry, it's fine. So she's praying, you know, for her last moments of life. Gabriel's there. And so we see Diablo pull back up to where Gabriel is chilling out. And he's like, oh, your witch is dead, boys, slain upon the hill. And Gabriel's like, yeah, I know, I felt it. Like, I'm not an idiot, asshole. Like, trust me, Diablo's an asshole. And you could tell when Gabriel's being serious, where his text and the speech bubble switch, where the bubble itself is black and the text is white. You know, when he's using his demonic side. Ooh. I don't know why I did that. Austin, why did I do that? Exactly.
I do not know.
I don't know. But anyway, so he's like all pissed. He's like, see what real power is, Diablo, for I am the child of the left hand, born of sin. Like, and Diablo's like the foretold son, but that's, and Gabriel's like, know your better, worm, and tell my father it was for nothing. I am taking the book to the one place he can never fucking touch it. And he's like, all like, there's like fire around, like he summons fire and all this other stuff because Gabriel is pissed. It's like, what the fuck, bro? Like, huh? Like, it's like Diablo's like, what about this town? Its people. Have you no curse for them? And Gabriel's like, what would be the point? They're their own curse. They will know themselves in time. Like, I'm a proof enough of that. So he takes the book and he takes the dog because why not? He's not going to let the dog die. Priorities, guys. Priorities. And so the final bits of dialogue where we see Gabriel looking out at the town, it says, my name is Abigail Hausman and this is how I died. Afraid but true. Can you switch to the last picture? So apparently Abigail was his mom, I think, from what this panel shows. So, yeah, that's the end of the issue. But I forgot the last part. So the last bit of narration was, my name is Abigail Hausman. This is how I died, afraid but true and with hope. And that's where the issue ends. The next time is called Home Again. So I'm assuming the entire Academy will be back together. I saw the preview for the next issue, and we might be getting a wedding. Ooh! I wonder who it's gonna be.
It's actually my wedding with myself, sir.
Oh, okay, yeah. I can't wait to be there. Am I invited?
Yeah, you know what? Yes, you can.
I'm legally able to marry people. Did you know that?
You're a pastor?
I'm not a pastor, but I'm an ordained minister. It was actually really easy to get.
How easy? Like, what are we talking about?
You could just do a thing online.
How fast?
It was pretty quick. I don't remember how fast. It was a while ago, but yeah, I can legally marry people.
I'm gonna do that so I can just have a skill that I can just bring up a conversation.
Yeah, it's just like a fun fact. Like, oh yeah, I'm an ordained minister. I can marry you if you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fun fact. Anyways, that's the end of the issue. That's the end of my turn. So stay tuned for next week, y'all.
All right. Okay, audience. So with that, let's get to the last book of the night. Austin,
Yo, Joe!
It's your turn, bro. When you gonna pull some work, bro?
America? Where's the American heroes of today?
Yeah. So I start tonight off with talking about Captain America and ending tonight off with talking about American soldiers, audience. So, yay. This is the first ever confrontation between Duke and Cobra Commander, audience. You know, Duke has his gun pointed at Cobra Commander. Hey, so we finally meet, Duke, we aren't all that different, We were both loyal to something greater than ourselves, willing to give everything to the cause, only to be betrayed, cast aside, forced to find answers in a new role of the universe. You want to say something, Austin?
I was agreeing. Never mind.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, but then he also says like, yeah, but there's also, but Duke, of course, said we're nothing alike. Yeah, perhaps you're right. That is why you will lose. So yeah, Cobra Commander has this new kind of like mental device that's going to set off all across Washington D.C. Right, and it's being powered by the scientist that created him, his name is Dr. Nimov. It's Venom spelled backwards, audience. So yeah, have that be a fun doctor to be working with, audience. So anyway, he takes the bomb to the roof, and yeah, Duke is just for commanding Cobra Commander to shut it off. Then Cobra Commander's like, yeah, if you want to shut it off, you just have to kill the person it's hooked up to. Have fun. Yeah, and then that's when, the fight commences between Duke and Cobra Commander as Duke shoots a couple of rounds at Cobra Commander, only for him to reveal his Energon claw. Dude, y'all know how much of a big Captain America fan I am, right? To me, this is basically Cobra Commander's Satan's Claw. From Baron von Strucker. I mean, come on, like just look at that middle panel. Freaking looks like it has claws, pointy tips at the end, shoots electricity, man. Like you do not want to get gripped by this thing. So the fight commences, but then we get like, some background confrontation between Baroness and Destro, trying to escape their clutches. And yeah, we just really go back to the fight between Duke and Cobra Commander. Yeah, Duke has Cobra Commander pinned down and goes a full point blank shot to his face with his gun. But Austin, was it ever stated as to what material Cobra Commander's face mask was made out of?
No, it was not. I was very surprised too. I went back to
Yeah,
check because of how
yeah,
often it's been getting cracked and stuff.
yeah. But I guess he just upgraded it with some Energon technology or whatever because those bullets bounce off of his face mask and hit Nuke in the shoulder, and Cobra Commander, he doesn't have a dent on his mask, so damn, what is this like adamantium here you're talking about? So yeah, they fight, and like even with a bullet to the shoulder, man, he's still giving Cobra Commander hell. Audience, this is a real American right here. Cobra Commander's like, you idiot! If you don't let me go, we'll both die. And then Duke is like, hey, I don't need to beat you. I just need to keep you near the bomb long enough to make sure when it explodes, you'll die too. I'm not afraid to die. Maybe not, but when that bomb goes off, your Cobra Empire grows. Cobra Commander becomes the world's leader. Can you die knowing you won't be able to see it? So Cobra
Yes.
Commander. Oh man, I can't do a high pitched voice like that. You know what, Jake? You have to do the Cobra Commander dialogue, man.
It's all in pushing your voice to the upper part of your throat. It's all in the upper
Yeah.
voice.
Like, okay, so Cobra Commander just vaporizes Dr. Nimov's head, thus defusing the bomb. Duke is like, what did you do? And Cobra Commander said, I warned you. Turning
There you
off the
go.
bomb meant a sacrifice. Yeah, that's the best I could do.
That wasn't too bad. That wasn't too bad. That wasn't terrible.
Okay. You bastard. So Duke just punches him square in the face, only for Cobra Commander to take out his knife and slice Duke in the chest. So this gives Cobra Commander the opportunity to go back to the machine, grab what he needs, which is the energon from it, and leaves. Like, hey, well, I know I know we'll be doing battle sometime in the near future. This won't be the last time, Duke. So they leave. both sides end up licking their wounds from the confrontation they just had. Destro is furious with Cobra Commander, who, since he sees his whole mission as a failure since the bomb didn't set off, but Cobra Commander's like, no, no, this is just the first step in the war to come. Because
Oh my
apparently
God, sure it is, bro. I get it. You want to save face, okay? You lost to me.
yeah,
It's okay.
no. Apparently, the machine's activation just caused a reaction to that piece of energon Cobra Commander put into that machine, right? And yeah, now they have a new weapon. He's like, this. Dude, Destro's like, another weapon? So much more. Perhaps it is time I told you the truth, Destro, about the war that is coming. And the war that is already here. As he reveals to Destro the corpse of Megatron, audience. Like,
This takes place
ooh.
before where Transformers is now.
Yeah. Well, no, Megatron's been dead for a while.
No,
That's
but
why.
he's back now.
No,
Is he
Megatron
back?
is alive right now in Transformers. Yeah. Been back
Oh,
like three
okay.
issues.
Yeah, so this is
Oh,
before it then. Yeah.
okay.
So
So it has to be before.
That's
so
been
Cobra's
my
saying
only
all
problem
this.
with the G.I. Joe book. Is that it comes
Mhm,
out slower than Transformers. So Transformers basically
mhm,
like way past that now.
mhm,
Yeah, it's like Cobra's
mhm.
doing all this shit, and like Megatron's like on a building talking to Optimus right now. Like, well, he doesn't talk to him. He kind
Yeah.
of like snaps
He
at
was,
him.
he was talking to he just staged Soundwave.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Well, at least we have that clarification.
Mm.
So we got to see what the aftermath from Cobra's side. Now we're going back to the Joes. You know, you
Yo.
have Duke, you have the Duke reporting back to Colonel Hawk, like saying we lost, but then Colonel Hawk is saying, "But you survived." Well, not everyone did, sir. Welcome to war, Duke.
Oh
You
my
know
God, Duke, you're
this.
such a downer. Holy shit. I'm trying
He's a realist. He's a
His
realist.
best friend got murdered by a robot that nobody believes is real.
No, I just want Hawk to be like, holy shit, Duke. I'm trying to make a silver lining here. You're being such a downer. Fuck off, bro. Like, please.
Yeah.
This is why you
But
won't join the Silverhawks. You get it?
Yeah, bro.
That's my thing.
Gotcha. But this is where, like, Duke like took the words that Colonel Hawk sent to him a couple issues back a little bit more closer to heart. Because, like, hey, at least they were able to prevent the bomb from detonating in Washington, D.C., right? And it was all because, like, of every person on the team having their own individual roles in the game to go up against the Cobras, So yeah, we do need some more training, but hey, we're not all that bad. And then that's when we cut back to Clutch, who kind of needs a little bit of personal time because remember he had to. Oh, did we lose Witch? Witch.
Hi.
Okay. Oh, okay. How's it going, man? All
Oh,
right. So we
just
cut.
watching pictures of fish.
Gotcha. So anyway, we cut back
Okay,
to
weirdo.
Clutch. Yeah. So anyway, audience, we cut back to Clutch, who runs into Baroness, and he's just saying he needs a personal time because remember he had to pretend to be dead in order to infiltrate Cobra Commander's base. So he had to be one of their soldiers, right? And just the stuff he saw there, man. Yeah, it will mess anybody's mind. So he just kind of needs some personal time. So he goes into his car, he packs his bags, and as he drives, apparently there's a Cobra Energon uh, uh, orb in his bag, right? And all of a sudden, he gets thrown out of his vehicle as his vehicle turns into a transformer. Yep.
And that's why I
Okay.
think it's Hound. Because Hound was the one that wasn't he invented for the G.I. Joe crossover?
What do you mean he was
It
invented?
w-
He's existed in the original cartoon.
Well,
There's
he's
one that was
green.
invented specifically to be the G.I. Joe Jeep in the G.I. Joe crossover. I can't remember his name.
The exact car that Clutch was driving was a Jeep, and let me actually bring up his picture, and he is wearing an Autobot symbol, so he's
Yeah,
not
that's either Hound
Decepticon.
or Springer, and both of them are from the G1 cartoon. I'm pretty sure that's Hound though, because Hound has a thing on his back, I think. But
Well, that'll be a
Was it
perfect. a perfect character to be putting into this audience. So yeah, looking forward to this. Duke, dude, you're a badass, man. So yeah, Cobra Commander. It just looks so right to have Satan's claw in your hand, you know. So yeah.
Bro,
Well,
Satan's
what?
Claw, that's really what he called it.
Well, that's the name of his arm. Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
a cobra.
No, I'm talking about
Yeah, so
Von Strucker from Marvel. I'm talking about Von Strucker from Marvel
yeah,
because
so
this is
okay.
what
Okay, all right, I understand.
because this is what Cobra Commander's arm is reminding me of. You know?
I see.
so
Yeah.
Jake, this is Hound. Hound was reinvented for the G.I. Joe crossover. That's when he was gone for a while. And he came back as their Jeep. And he was like the liaison between both groups and the crossover stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
It is Hound. You're right.
Perfect. Yay.
I remain undefeated in Transformers.
Just wait until Back to the Future comes into this universe audience and we see the DeLorean turn into his Transformer self. That happened. That happened. That crossover happened one point, audience.
What does Power Rangers in this book have against naming the Transformers? Though that's why I don't understand.
What?
Like a little title card. Oh, this is Hound. This is Springer. This is Megatron. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
This is Astro Train. Well, whatever.
There you go.
I guess in the end, you could say it doesn't matter.
It's more than meets
It
the
matters.
eyes after all, audience.
No, it absolutely matters. It's fucking annoying, honestly. But it is. They are more than meets the eye. They're robots in disguise.
Yeah, what he said.
Yep. So, alrighty, audience. That's it for tonight's episode. So
yeah, I wish I could have been back with the Silverhawks, bro. That book was really cool, but
yeah, just wait a week. So
I guess so.
All right. All right, audience. We'll see y'all next time. See ya.
Bye.
Yeah.